Hello, everyone. I wanted to do a quick upload. This won't take long at all. Something I observed while monitoring my various deals and testing out my magic, of course, and my microphone, my custom microphone setup. It has to do, ironically, with LIBERA. I watch LIBERA as it proceeds on Digifinex, and I want to just see over time how it performs and if it's going to do anything. And I noticed that there's increased amount of volume on this business, 1.5 million. Before I was seeing in the low 13,000 some odd. As of right now, it's somewhat lower, like 3,000s. But when I was looking back to try to figure out, okay, where was the run up? Where were we seeing the significant amounts of volume? And it looks like it was right around here somewhere in the crack of dawn, early morning, my time. This debunks something that I theorized because I speculated that the vast majority of interest in Libero and LIBERA would come from American audiences. But it appears, according to the time zone I'm seeing, and this is only speculation, that there are some people international that have expressed some interest in what's going on here. As a result, we saw some spikes in the volume. And if you know the connection between Libero and LIBERA, Libero's activity does tend to influence Libero, but also Bitcoin slightly up. The other tokens are slightly up. And we're seeing slight green in places. We don't know if it'll last. We don't know how long it'll last. We don't really even know the driver behind it. Just seems like there's some green across the board. Even scummy tokens have a little bit of green. That could be playing a part. The point, though, is LIBERA's activity is going to help benefit the entire eco. It's still early to know if this will sustain, number one. And number two, what effect it will have on Libero. As we've been having conversations through the various members of the Libero ecosystem, the community, awesome community, there's always been this question about what do we do now to get things back on track? I happen to notice that the rewards were coming out a little bit faster. I was seeing a little bit more on the Liberator Bank, which of course is the liquidity pool, and it is dependent on LIBERA activity. And part of what they said was that the volume, the CEX volume, would contribute to holders on the LIBERA ecosystem. Of course, I have some in Liberator Bank and I have some in LIBERA Bank. I've mostly ignored them because the volume was low. Seeing that the volume was starting to go up a little bit off of international activity, now I'm starting to wonder, is it possible that the international traders are mostly the ones holding off with their money because they're waiting for Bitcoin to recover? And is it possible that many of them might have the vast majority of their assets over into Bitcoin to buy the dip? And is it possible that if they were stockpiling Bitcoin, that they're waiting for Bitcoin to go up, take off profits to then buy back in some projects like these? All of these are just questions. I don't have answers. I'm saying I was intrigued to see Libero and LIBERA see some green after so long of red. And it appears that this is trending positive. If you notice the lines, it appears like it's going to potentially positive run at some point if we could keep this momentum, specifically around the Bitcoins of the world. This should excite people. If it can maintain, this should excite people because it's a precursor to hopefully other things, positive things. Because once you get enough green candles, FOMO will take care of the rest. The price of LIBERA is low enough that it would entice people to buy in, considering that it started at $1, it's a debut price, means it's at a steep discount, especially if you think of something, this has a constrained inventory. So its potential positive price movement is huge if it can sustain this momentum. That's open question. That's the only question we still have. Can it maintain this momentum, and how long can it maintain it? For anybody who's in the ecosystem, our question has always been, we want to see LIBERA have enough volume to where we can see the impact, positive impact on Libero. If Libero is then able to get back green, it would support my theory that it's just a waiting game. We just need to wait it out, let time pass, let the core tokens get back to some positive before deciding what our next action is. The other thing I'll call out, I'm going to slide my little dealie over here so you can see the order book. Right now, the top price for this is $1.40 that they're asking. So this is people who are trying to sell this. And then the low end price is like $1.26. That's a pretty wide spread when you consider it debuted at $1. And I'm not seeing as many people pushing the price up as I once saw. Most of the international folks are probably dialed out now. So I want to look at this tomorrow early morning and see if it gets pushed up again. Because if it does, it makes me wonder if the international folks were just waiting. They were waiting for Bitcoin to go on a little run, take some profits, and then buy back into these other projects, and they'd spread the money around. In other words, it makes me wonder, as I was looking at the Luna thing and I was seeing similar behavior, it makes me wonder if the vast majority of the wealth that's pending is actually pending because of the international shores, and that the American crowd are simply not buying, but the international is still interested in buying into various projects. If that's true, which I can't say it is or isn't, I'm saying if it's true, that means they're going to be the ones that save, I don't want to say save crypto because that's extreme, but they're going to be the ones that save sentiment. They're going to be the ones that cause people to feel better about crypto, is the international crowd. And that's, I don't want to say sad because I'm thankful, but it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that we're dependent on international money with cryptocurrency, and that the United States, for whatever reason, is not the front runner. Obviously, inflation plays a part of that. I guess in summary, what I'm saying is I don't believe that this is a Libera specific thing. I don't believe that this is only Libera. I believe that this is a larger thing. I think that the international crowd, we need Bitcoin to go back on a run. And this might mean that the vast majority of wealth is locked in Bitcoin. And people being able to take profit back out of Bitcoin that they've been sitting on might cause us to get back to the glory days of cryptocurrency faster. So I'm holding to my prediction on June. I'm holding to my theory that June shows us something more happening, where we start seeing people open up the wallets, sell for profit, and buy back into various other projects for diversification. Let's hope that's the case. Right now, for Libera, it's looking decent good. Question is whether we can sustain it and how long we can sustain it. And I want to see, if we ever get there, I want to see more United States money flow in, because I think there's more of it sitting out there untapped. And without that, we're not going to get Bitcoin back up to the 60,000s. If Bitcoin gets back up to the 60,000s, that's 3x where it is, or almost double where it is now. If it can get that high, every other project is going to go on major runs, just because of not the backing, but just because people selling for profit and toying with other low market cap projects. Libero and Libera now are qualified as the low market cap projects that usually create opportunities that entice newer investors to buy in because of a low barrier of entry. Anyway, I'm intrigued. I'm somewhat excited. I can't say what it means long term, but I'm intrigued to see that Libera appears to be getting a little bit of recovery going on. Then I ran over to Dex Tools just to compare notes, and Dex Tools seems to confirm what I was seeing, which is that there's definitely an interest increase on the Libera side versus where we were before. So now that we're seeing sentiment consistent on the international versus the decentralized, which is worldwide, we have to watch what this does going forward and see if we can get back to the peaks. Libera never got a chance to get to the true run. It only peaked at $2.40. It never got a true opportunity to get where I believe it should be, which is easily in the double figures. So I envy anybody that's sitting on excessive amounts of Libera, because they're going to be pretty strong wealth. If I look down at the list, Still a lot of sell pressure, but there are certainly people that believe what I think to be true, which is that it's about to go somewhere. I'm tempted. I'm truly tempted. The only thing that holds me back is I want the fundamentals fixed first. And then I want to see that there's enough sustained bull run to fix the bottom resistance. I want to define top resistance so that I know how much to put in, but I'm certainly tempted to add to the LIBERA bag. And then by way of the LIBERA volume and activity, get the Libero back on track. I'm tempted. I'll have to think about it. Anyways, that's all I had. I just figured I'd share the two graphs as now in sync as far as what appears to be sentiment is now consistent of international folks on the CEX and worldwide folks on the DEX. And the price has now reached parity, close parity, which tells me that we're getting very close to some sort of a run. I don't know how long. I don't know how high. I don't know what it means. But as long as you're in the ecosystem one way or the other, and you have a strong strategy for what you do with it, whether you day trade it or you lock it in the bank, both activities ultimately are going to benefit the ecosystem. So at this point, it doesn't really matter which way you go, because if you day trade it, those contribute to burn activity because it's also contributing to volume. Because the constrained supply, there's enough green candles. At some point, FOMO will kick in. If they can get more exchanges than just Digifinex, we would even get rid of this so that we can get more people, more volume. The 1.5 million is all good, but we need more volume than this. And we need more on the United States side buying into the project so that we don't get that kind of stuff happening. Cool beans. Thank you.